Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I hit the wrong button, apparently. Cut the other one off as soon as I got another signal. I tried to start up again. I hit the wrong button. But in any case, this is going to be part two. Back at, Tucker Carlson at this point is interviewing Mr. Sachs. So let's pick up back with that.
Well, first of all, there's no legitimate reason for that. In other words, there's no intrinsic U.S. interest in any way, whether it's military or security or economic, for this to be the case. There's no moral reason for this to be the case.
Because it's ignorance and cowardice. All right. It's ignorant and cowardice. You refuse to stand up to the bully, which is the nation of 9 million. Actually, it's a little deeper than that. It goes, because actually the people that, Job 9 and 24, these are the banksters, and I said it that way for a reason. He who owns the gold makes the rules, right? The golden rule. It's as simple as that.
In other words, one could support Israel without supporting Israel's reckless extremism and militarism and all its wars. And so there's no reason for the United States government to have a blank check, actually handed our military and our intelligence over to Israel to tell us what to do.
Unless, as I've pointed out before, the whole idea is that Israel is just a military base in the Middle East. That Israel is an extension of the United States as a military base in the Middle East under this facade of being a place for a safe place for Jewish people. Israel's a secular state.
Yeah, and others have said this over the years. All right, that it's just a military outpost. It's, again, what Mr. Shaheed Bosen said from Mel Nation. This is white supremacy with a yarmulke on. That's all it is. What they've, it's an extension of what they've always been about. Letting you know these are the same people. Doesn't matter if they call themselves Jewish, whether they call themselves French, American, British, Italian, Swedish, Danish, Russian, whatever. They're the same people. They are Edom. In the Bible, they are of the nation of Edom.
It's not there's Christians, there's people that practice Judaism as well. Like, there's different things. Now they have all those things there, and it's a secular state, but under that system they also have apartheid, where a Palestinian Christian may have a different passport than someone who is Jewish. I really do believe this. I do believe that's all Israel is, just a military base disguised as something else.
There's no legitimate reason for this. The question why this is the case is, of course, I think to all of us, even no matter how much on the inside we are or how many decades we've watched this, a bit of a mystery.
Yes.
And because I've seen this close up for more than 50 years. And if you ask me, am I really sure why Netanyahu, who is a absolutely disgusting warmonger, who has dragged us into terrible wars, who is committing massive war crimes, why he gets 57 standing ovations in the U.S. Congress if you ask me in my heart, do I really understand that? Is it the AIPAC lobby, the Israel lobby? Well, partly. Is it blackmail by Israel? Because there's no doubt a lot of credible claims of Epstein and about blackmail. Is it that? Is it direct bribes? Is it fear of American politicians? Is it the mainstream media, which for a lot of reasons owned by a lot of billionaires that tend to be rather ardent Zionists? Is it the large Christian Zionist vote base, which is also a real thing? To tell you the truth, none of it really adds up.
I agree.
In full, because this is not in America's interest. It's not in America's interest to be isolated in the world together with a murderous rogue state, which
It is in America interest if the U.S. government wants to support colonialism. Israel is the last stage of colonialism. This is it. If they want to support it in an effort to drive the Arab people out, for economic reasons for the United States to have access to the resources that are also there and not have to worry about Iran. I'm just looking at it from the US government perspective. This is how they'll think. Like, this would be the way to get Iran out of the picture and support the Greater Israel Project. They don't want them there. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, I mean, yeah, he's the prime minister, but you put someone else in that position, they'll be doing the same thing because they all support the colonial project. They all support it. What do you think would have happened if, I think about this sometimes. What do you think would have happened if Israel wasn't created? Let's say Israel wasn't created in the Middle East. They would have created it somewhere else. This colonial project. Now, then they do it under the guise of, but they got to be in the Middle East because, that's the Holy Land. The religion excuse, that's just a disguise. They're using religion to explain why they need to be there, but it's a secular state. I think everybody just look at things for what they really are and look at what has happened in the world. We have watched the US and Britain, other Western countries destroy other countries in the world, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Haiti. There was colonialism in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Barbados, all the Caribbean. There was colonialism there. There's colonialism in the Dominican Republic. It's been all over the world. The religion piece is an excuse. It's been all over the world. The religion piece is an excuse.
And just to remind you, these people she's talking about that are causing all these problems in the world, and this goes back to the Renaissance, all right, when these people came back into power after being bound and sealed for 1,000 years, as it tells you in Revelation 20th chapter. All right, all this confusion, all this death, all the lies, the deception, this is them. Bible, the scriptures are right on point. It's telling you who's who.
But this is still an effort of supporting colonial expansion, which is a European idea. It's a European construct. So if someone were to ask me, does the United States government support colonial expansion? I would say yes. And I would point to Israel. Let's continue on here.
It's sad to say what the Israeli government has become. It is the most lawless state in the whole world right now. It's committing massive war crimes. It is, as Netanyahu said, at war in 7 fronts. If you're at war in 7 fronts, that's pretty weird. That shows you don't have diplomacy. You have war as a policy. And of course, Netanyahu does have war as a policy.
And see, it's not just Benjamin Netanyahu. That's also the thing. Not just Benjamin Netanyahu. It's the whole part of Zionism in the beginning, the whole part of Zionism was to basically make sure that you would continue this colonial expansion. And this is why, like, you have people that live in Israel that are from Brooklyn, New Jersey, California. And you have people moving there from Poland, Ukraine, Russia, and then changing their name to make it seem like they're indigenous. They're not indigenous. Yes, there were Jewish people that were living there alongside with the Palestinian people before the Zionist expansion came in. But a lot of the Israelis, the people.
But that just goes to show you that this was planned out, because the Rothschilds got into it. You know, all their digs, their anthropology, so-called things of that nature, whatever science, branch of science. I think that's the one I mentioned. I think I called it right. But in any case, they spent a lot of money in order to prop up this fraud of theirs, and that's Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. Let's go there. And there's an interview where I think it's Jacob Rothschild. He since passed away last year before last. You know, the one that the cartoon character Mr. Burns was based off of. Let's see, prophesy to the mountains of Israel. All right. Let's see. I'll start at the top. It says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Most High Yahweh. Thus saith the Most High, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Most High, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. All right, going back to what? Psalms 83rd chapter, right? Let's see. I think I skipped over it. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Most High Yahweh. Thus saith the Most High to the mountains and to the hills, the various governments, to the rivers and to the valleys and to the desolate waste, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen. Again, talking about us, where we were scattered about, that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, the so-called white man. This is in the Old Testament, yet Idumea is Greek for Edom, all right, which have appointed my land into their possession, Joel 3rd chapter, into their possession with the joy of all their heart. Remember, the Rothschilds, the letter from um, um, Sir Arthur Balfour to the Rothschild. I forget which one. Was it Leonard? Hold on. Walter, something shit. Hold on. Balfour, which, let's see, which was put together in 1917, but the actual, I think it's with a U. Hold on. All right. Took place in 31 years later, in 1948. All right. Let's see. What the hell is going on here? Hold on. Oh, crap. There it is. The Balfour Declaration was a statement issued by the British government on November 2nd, 1917, expressing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was made in, God dang it, what the hell? Was made in a letter from British Foreign Secretary Arthur J. What the hell am I doing? What the hell? Hold on. Wow. In a letter from British Foreign Secretary Arthur James Balfour to Lord Walter Rothschild, a leader of the British-ish community, the declaration was significant as it marked a pivotal moment in the history of Zionism and British policy in the Middle East, reflecting the growing support for the Zionist movement during World War II. Let's go 30 years, or was it 29? Anyway, you keep talking about, well, these people keep committing these atrocities not only on the Palestinians and all these other people, but they do it to their allies. And let's look at the King David Hotel. All right, let's look at that incident. Was it 46 or 47? Because these people, I mean, they get away with, oof. All right, let's see. King David Hotel. Come on now. All right. Let's see. Bombing? Yeah. Let's see. Maybe I should have put that in there because that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it was 46. Okay. Rumor has it that there was a young lieutenant that just had this eerie feeling. Let's see, the King David Hotel bombing of July 22nd, 1946 was a significant terrorist attack carried out by the Irgun, a Jewish militant organization targeting British administrative headquarters in Mandatory Palestine. Now, didn't they make a deal during World War I with the British, with the said British? So what happened between 1917 and the end of the subsequent end of World War I, all the way up to this is after World War II. Good year, almost. What happened? 91 deaths and 46 injuries. Now, come on here. All right. Members of the Irgun, disguised as hotel staff, planted explosive in the hotel's southern wing. Despite warnings allegedly issued to evacuate the hotel, British officials did not take action, leading to a high casualty rate when the bomb detonated at 12:37 p.m. The explosion caused significant destruction, collapsing part of the building and resulting in the deaths of 91